it comes to climate change, I've never had a dramatic epiphany or a childhood experience that's bound my passion to saving the environment. My motivation is simple. I want to save the planet that I live on. In a world of complex narratives and deeply personal journeys, it can be easy to forget that your motivation to support a cause doesn't need to be remarkable. In this case, all you need to do is grasp the fundamental truth that our Earth is irreplaceable. The United Nations has designated climate change as one of the most pressing issues of our time. Rising ocean levels, higher global temperatures, and the loss of biodiversity and species have increased exponentially at alarming rates. Everyone knows about climate change, but not many people are aware of some of the potential possibilities being further explored in order to help mitigate this global catastrophe. Hello everyone, my name is Prisha Dalal, and I'm a sophomore at Blue Valley North High School. I'm excited to briefly discuss with you today some of the potential uses of AI to solve one of the biggest issues we face: global warming and climate change. Mitigating climate change is not just an environmental necessity, but a moral imperative to help protect future generations. So let's get into AI. Critically important new technologies. They're on the rise, and they're known for their simulation of human problem solving, creative thinking, and deductive reasoning. Sounds promising, right? Well, don't take it from me. Take it directly from the artificial intelligence models themselves. I asked the 4 top AI models the same question. What are some ways artificial intelligence can help mitigate the climate crisis? These were the 4 responses I received. All 4 AI models claim that artificial intelligence could be a critical asset in precisely predicting weather patterns, optimizing our energy usage, and efficiently creating climate-friendly societies. This seems promising, so let's get more into that. But before that, I want to briefly explain how I've been grouping some of the research that I've came across. I tried breaking down artificial intelligence into its name, artificial and intelligence. And while I was doing research, I took the advantages that AI had, and I added it to the intelligence aspect of its name, while some of the disadvantages that AI may have went into the artificial aspect of its name. So to start, I'm going to get into the intelligence aspect, or some of the benefits AI has. So, first of all, artificial intelligence is known for its ability to simulate human problem solving. Additionally, it's very efficient and can do things that humans can do way faster and more quick. Additionally, it doesn't have human-like worries like fatigue or tiring out. It doesn't reach burnout stages, or it doesn't even need to sleep. This makes its operational lengths far beyond that of a human. This seems really good, but almost too good. Artificial intelligence also has a great amount of disadvantages that are very important to talk about when talking about it as an optimal solution. So let's get into the disadvantages, or the artificial aspect of AI. One of the biggest issues that is most likely talked about when implementing AI is the fact that it almost seems like a backwards solution to solving climate change. Confused? Let me explain. Scientists for years now have claimed that one of the biggest reasons we are facing so many climate-related problems is because we are simply using too many resources as a society. So if we were to implement AI as a solution, in order to actually utilize its full potential, we would need to use more resources in order to fully fund it. When you ask AI a question, you may think you're just getting back a response on a screen, but a lot of us are blind to the process that actually goes on behind the screen. You see, when you ask AI a question, your words get transferred to a system of data centers, and those data centers heat up, which correlates directly to energy usage. Additionally, those systems use significant amounts of water, so water is also a significant energy usage that occurs when you ask AI a question. Ultimately, it comes down to simple cost-benefit analysis. Are some of these issues that we are receiving with AI worse or better than some of the advantages we may gain? If AI is better than the threshold of means that its destruction causes, then I believe it is truly a possible solution to implement. However, it also has other issues. Another issue that AI has is that it's not actually creating any new information. It's simply taking information that humans have once created and training off of it to formulate a condensed answer. Now, this seems fine and all, but let's think back to the original issue. That information that AI once trained off of was created by a human. And as we all know, humans are not perfect. There could have been a slight miscalculation in that one small article, or maybe a statistic was off here or there. Now, in that one article, that's not going to be very big of a threat in the overall picture. But here's where that could be an issue. After AI trains off of all of the data it can find, it implements a system called synthetic data training, which is where it takes all of the knowledge it can get, and then it reaches a finite point of information. From there, it trains off of the information it has, which hypothetically means it can continue expanding with infinite amounts of information. Now, we have to go back to that one article that maybe had a small error in it. That small error is not so small anymore, because now AI has trained over it hundreds and thousands of times, exponentially increasing its threat. In a scale as large as climate change that affects every single person on our planet, even a small mistake could domino effect into an even larger issue. Misinformation is something that needs to be handled with significant caution. The last big issue with AI is that it doesn't have what sets it apart from making it a human: emotions and a conscience. AI doesn't have a say about what's ethically good and ethically bad. Additionally, it doesn't have opinions. And though some people may say that that's good, because sometimes prejudices get in the way of opinion forming, in this case, it can also be a bad thing. When AI can not know what's good or bad from a societal standpoint, or what a human thinks is good or bad, it creates its own ideas of wrong and right. If I were to ask an untrained AI model what the quickest way to solving climate change was, it may go through a series of steps that would go like this. Well, if we had so many people on our planet, and those people use too many resources, then if we had less people on our planet, then they would use less resources, right? So then it could go through a series of steps that sounded like, well, okay, let's go, and then we can remove some of the people, and then if we had less people, then we'd have less resources, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, hold on, Thanos, we can't just get rid of people on our planet. AI can't tell that this is simply wrong. Well, any human would know that it's not a possible solution. But not to AI, because it can't differentiate between ethically wrong and ethically right. This segues really nicely into some of these benefits that we humans have, but oftentimes don't play on. But in this fight against climate change, we should use those to our advantage. So let's start with what I was just talking about with emotional intelligence. Any human knows that killing is wrong, and there's just certain solutions that would hypothetically work, but you just can't even think about those because it's just wrong. Additionally, humans have the ability to actually invent new ideas that are distinct from things that have been invented in the past. Unlike AI, that just takes knowledge that's been created prior to it. I like to think of this as two sides of the brain. Humans can be the right side of the brain, or the side known for creativity, art, or more innovation, while AI can be the left side of the brain, or the side known for computation and math and more logically based concepts. Now, I have to give it to us as a society. We've lasted pretty long by just leveraging the right side of the brain, but wouldn't it be easier if we had something that would efficiently add computational skills to our regime as a society? I mean, I think it would. But then again, humans have errors too. We all know we make mistakes. I've probably made at least 3 mistakes in the past hour, but I'm sure all of you have felt kind of the same way. Additionally, we all have prejudices and opinions that we formulate based on our experiences. And as much as we choose to ignore those, they do influence our daily decision making. However, I believe our biggest issue as humankind is our natural resistance to change. Humans have a tendency to back out of situations as soon as they exit their comfort zone. Perhaps the optimal solution to solving climate change lies just out of reach, but we are too restrained and timid to go out and change some of our day-to-day things that we are so comfortable with. We have so many luxuries that a lot of us have, and we often take for granted. But if we got rid of some of those, or sacrificed some of them, we might be able to, in place, do something better for the common good. But so why don't we? Why don't we make the change? It's because it's uncomfortable and we are too scared to do it. It becomes clear that the optimal solution does lie in working hand in hand with AI as long as we can fix some of these resource issues. But more than that, we're not actually going to get anywhere unless we do something about it. So what if we actually committed to the bit and really did try and make these sacrifices to solve climate change? Thank you all so much for listening today, and I hope if there's one thing you take away from this, it's that oftentimes the ideal solution may lie just out of reach, but we need to do something. We need to change in order to actually get there. We must take decisive steps to safeguard our future. As Toby Ord once said, the greatest risks can be caused by action, but they can also be addressed by action. Whether humanity survives this era is a choice humanity will make. It all comes down to how quickly we come to terms with our unprecedented and unparalleled power to change. Thank you.